Hello and welcome to the Oracle of the Divine Ophite. And this is a collective channeled message. And so this may not resonate for everybody, but if it does resonate for you, please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share the video if you think that it might benefit someone else that you know on an intimate level. So let's begin. So, this message is for a hardworking Empress. And this hardworking Empress has been struggling for a while. This is a person that just works really hard all the time. They just give the best in everything they do. They're constantly looking at their environment, looking at their surroundings, trying to make sure that everything is the best it can possibly be. I would say that this person is even a little bit obsessive in that regard. They always want their environment to be beautiful. They always want things to be functioning well. They want things to be working properly. They like it when things are, clean and organized. And they may have been surrounded by some people or in an environment that are kind of working at odds, working against that part of their personality. So it's been a bit of a struggle for them, because even though they're generally very good at keeping their personal environment in a good state, the people around them and the things outside of their control, the forces outside of their control, have been a bit chaotic. So this person feels like they've been caught up in that chaos, and this might be you, and it doesn't really matter if you're male or female. This is just someone that has very strong Empress energy. So someone that's creative, someone that's very empowered, someone that's very dignified and proud, very beautiful or handsome if you happen to be a male or identifying as a male. So just a beautiful person all around, beautiful inside and out, someone that other people are awestruck by. So this beautiful, hardworking, talented, intelligent, creative, wonderful person has just been going through a bit of a personal struggle. And the struggle's been going on for a while. I'm seeing anywhere between 5 months and 5 years. So for some of you, maybe a shorter time, but for some could be a very long time. But I'm just getting the number 5. 5 months, 5 years. So long enough for it to start to be wearing and to be a bit bothersome or a bit tiresome. And this has been mostly struggles with just keeping your passion intact, or this person keeping their passion, keeping their fires lit in the face of the struggles around them, trying to keep things going, trying to deal with some difficult people or difficult work situation. But this is definitely something to do with a creative endeavor of some kind. So it could be work related, or, it could be a personal artistic endeavor, or it could just be something that this person has been trying to create, regardless of what that might be. It could even be, trying to conceive a child, any act of creation. There's been a struggle surrounding completion of that act, or bringing that creation to its fullest manifestation. There's been this kind of inability to close out a cycle. It's just been really, really a struggle to just get it done and over with, to close out this cycle. But what's happening now is I'm kind of getting this vision of the sun breaking through the clouds. So everything's been a bit shrouded and a bit cloudy, a bit foggy. As I've said, a bit of a struggle. And now the sun is breaking through the clouds. And the sun is shining clarity onto the proper path to take in order to bring this creative endeavor to completion. Things are starting to clear up, obstacles are starting to move out of the way. And the reason for these obstacles, there's been some sort of self-deception going on. There's been this person, this Empress, or this person with Empress energy has been deceiving themselves. They've been lying to themselves about something. And this thing that they've been lying to themselves about is a very important thing. It's a very important aspect of their situation or their personality or the personality of someone around them that they just haven't been honest with themselves about. They've been almost intentionally shrouding their own knowledge of this, or their honesty of this with this situation. They've been shrouding it themselves. I'm not necessarily seeing, deception from others, although there could be deception from others involved as well. But the primary deception seems to have been coming from this Empress in regard to deceiving themselves. Perhaps because they felt like if they were honest with themselves, they'd have something to lose, or something, they were afraid that something would change or something would be irreconcilable with themselves or the situation. But there was some fear that was causing them to deceive themselves about something very important. But now that cloud of self-deception is lifting and the sun is breaking through. And there's now the ability to, in this state of full honesty, in this state of recognition of self-deception, there's the opportunity to finally bring this creative endeavor into full manifestation. And it's going to come into a really, really powerful full manifestation. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. The sun is just really, really showing up for me in my mental image. There's just this really bright, bright, bright sun shining through the clouds, shining on everything, shining on this Empress, burning away all of the lies, all of the self-deception, burning away the struggles, just burning away everything that could possibly be an obstacle to being successful in this creative endeavor. It's just such a beautiful scene that I'm seeing mentally, of just beautiful fields and trees and flowers and a bright sunny day, and just life everywhere, just flowers blooming and trees growing everywhere, birds singing, animals in the field. So it's just this creative energy in its fullest bloom, its fullest glory. So as soon as this self-deception fades away, then this manifestation comes in. And there's also this very, very powerful mental clarity that's coming through at the same time. This Empress is so smart. This Empress is sharp. I mean, her intellect is as sharp as a knife. This is a very highly intelligent person. This is a very focused person. So this person's going to be able to bring the full power of their intellect and their focus into play, and they're going to they've already come up with some really fantastic ideas with this creation, but the ideas are going to keep coming, and they're just going to become more and more brilliant as time goes on, as this Empress opens up to herself or himself and becomes, more confident and more honest about who they are as a person, the situation that they find themselves in, the situations that they possibly continue to find themselves in. Because that's kind of what's coming to me, is that this Empress has had difficulty manifesting their desires because they continually find themselves in looping karmic cycles. There's some sort of repetitive action. There's some sort of repetitive thing that's been happening in this Empress's life that has been causing this person to have to relive the same lessons over and over and over. And now they're finally coming to the knowledge of what the karmic lesson actually is and was. Whereas before they weren't fully aware of it. So they just kept kind of like looping around in this endless circle of just having to go through the same lessons over and over and over, and feeling like, why does this keep happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep dealing with these same types of people? Why do I keep getting involved in these same types of jobs that are unsatisfying? Why do I keep dating this same person? Why do I keep ending up in a long-term relationship with this same person? Why do I keep making the same mistakes? So there's been a lot of that questioning recently, and that's what has actually led this Empress to wake up to what's actually going on and to finally be able to break free of this negative cycle. So really, really positive things happening with that message. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull a couple more cards, like, so that I can kind of clarify what's happening with this situation in the future. Okay. So this was the first card that came out, and this is the Osho tarot deck, by the way. And this card is called Schizophrenia. This card can be taken any number of ways, but as we know, schizophrenia is being in two minds. And the message I'm getting there is that this Empress has an issue with being in two minds. This goes back to the self-deception aspect of the channel message, where, schizophrenia, we always think of it as being this mental condition that is very, very serious, and you have to go on medicine for it, and you have to speak to psychiatrists and psychologists. But this is a type, this is not what we're talking about here. This is a type of spiritual schizophrenia, which indicates that a person is not being authentic in some way. It doesn't mean that the person is just walking through life in a complete state of pretense, or that they're just, they're lying to the people around them. No, that's not what it means. It means that somewhere inside, there's some part of the self that's being denied. There's some part of the intrinsic personality or being, beyond the actual psychological being, or the being that we present in the material realm. There's some sort of non-recognition or non-acceptance of an aspect of the self that is very important to the full health and the full productivity of the self as a conscious entity. And this I think in today's world is quite common. So this Empress has been suffering that spiritual schizophrenia, where maybe in almost all aspects of the self, this Empress is fully aware of the creative capabilities, aware of the personality, the face that's presented to the world. And the face that's presented to the world is very strong, very confident, very beautiful, very admirable. But somewhere deep inside, there's some little piece of the self that this Empress has been denying. And that denial has caused this spiritual schizophrenic split that's taken place. And that split naturally causes an inability to produce manifestations. Because if the energy of the self is split, the force is diminished. The force of the personal energy, the personal will is diminished, and a diminished will cannot fully manifest. So the next card that I pulled was this one, which indicates to me that in some way that schizophrenic split has been healed to a large extent. There is this coming together, and you see there are 3 women on the card. So there's this, the schizophrenia has ended, and there's this coming together of the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. And this is going to lead to complete unity. This is the healing of the schizophrenic split. When all parts of the self are accepted and finally come together, working in unison, just as the women on this card are doing. They're dancing together in unison. So the self is starting to understand the dance of unison, and that the different aspects of the self need to be united in order to experience that dance of unity. That's what's beginning to happen now. So this schizophrenia, this spiritual schizophrenia, was almost necessary in order to bring awareness to this Empress that this disunity existed. This Empress is used to succeeding, and something happened along the way where, the success started to be a bit thwarted. The success started to not come as easily as it did in the past. Perhaps this was an injury from a previous relationship or situation, but just something happened, and all of a sudden the manifestations just didn't come easy the way they used to. And so there was this wound that needed to be seen, that needed to be acknowledged, that needed to be accepted so that it could be healed, and that took some time. And now that recognition has taken place and that healing has taken place, now true unity and true power, the true power and creativity of the Empress can now come forth and be fully seen and be fully acknowledged. The Empress as a whole being, the Empress as the embodiment of all 4 queens of the tarot deck. So this Empress is going to have everything. This Empress is going to be beautiful, smart, powerful, and abundant, and passionate and exciting all at the same time. So this is going to be like the perfect embodiment of the Empress. And remember, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. A male or a female can be the perfect embodiment of the Empress. I'm going to pull one more card just to get some advice. Okay. I actually got 2. So, and these 2 cards are amazing. So that's the first one. So there's going to be some abundance coming. This healing and this healing of the schizophrenic, of the spiritual schizophrenia, is going to result in some massive abundance coming for this Empress. And this is also a wish fulfillment. So Empress, whatever this Empress has been wishing for, this is going to result in some type of a wonderful, magical, powerful wish fulfillment that's going to bring abundance at the same time. So yeah, these are just really, sorry about the glare there, but nothing but good things coming from this Empress's ability to heal the self and fully accept and embody all aspects of the self, the wanted aspects, the previously unacknowledged and unwanted aspects, the shadow, everything is integrated, and it's going to result in some massive abundance and wishes being fulfilled. So nothing but good things. I'm going to leave it there. So remember, if anything about this reading resonated with you, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share if you feel the inclination. This is Oracle of the Divine Ophite, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.